Hi, I'm Karen Rice and welcome to my watercolour YouTube channel. I'm going to be painting a simple step-by-step atmospheric sunset cityscape using a limited palette, mostly primary colours, blue, pink, red, yellow and quinacridone gold, and you will find alternative colours in the description below. A photo link and full materials list can also be found in the description below, along with Amazon links and Jackson's Art Supplies links if you'd like to purchase any of the materials. A sketch outline is available on my Patreon membership with a longer, more in-depth tutorial, and at present I'm actually working on the voiceover for this, and it should be available to all of my members on the 29th of March 2021. So I hope you really enjoy that, members, and if you'd like to join the membership, just click the link in the description below and it will take you straight to my Patreon membership. And if you'd like more details about the membership, click my new website link in the description below and it will show you all of the tutorials that are available on my Patreon membership. Patreon support and membership support really helps me to create these step-by-step tutorials. For more information on the Patreon membership, as I say, just click the link in the description below. So, shall we get started? So I'm wetting the sky area. I put some framing tape, which is a little bit like masking tape, around the edge, and I'm working on a watercolour block. I'm using my size 10 brush and I've mixed up some quinacridone gold, but you could use raw sienna and a touch of cadmium yellow pale, and just painting this all over the foreground as well, wet into wet, just to really create a lovely glow in the sky and on the pavement. I'm working my way now into the middle of the sky, still working wet into wet. I've added a touch of red, Winsor red in fact, but you could use any red, into the yellow wash there, wet in wet. And now I'm painting around the sun. It's creamier paint. Even though I'm using pans, I'm using less water. This little box, little watercolour box, I bought several years ago, but you can get something similar, I've been told, the Schminky little art box. I'll put a link for that in the description below. I'm painting ultramarine with a tiny touch of red at the top of the sky, wet into wet. I'm mixing up some creamy orange now, that's red and yellow. I've gone to a smaller brush and I'm painting damp into wet. So the paint has less water, more pigment. I'm giving it a little tilt to get things moving. And if things are drying a little bit, use a spritzer bottle. And if you notice, I painted around the sun, so it's dry, and that's why the paint isn't running onto that area of the sun. And I have drawn the sun using the end of a tube, the round tube cap, for the stencil. I'm painting a little bit of ultramarine blue here with a tiny touch of red, wet into wet, along the pavement, but also along the bridge wall there as well. I've mixed up a little bit of red and blue. I'm using my size 6 brush and I'm painting this mixture of colour, damp into damp, along the horizon, and these are the sort of distant buildings I'm going to be painting here. I've painted the ones that are nearer as well, so I'm using the same sort of colours, but I will be working wet on dry over the nearer buildings in the next stage. But I'm painting this damp into damp, which creates fuzzy effects, so you get a really soft edge, and it allows the buildings to recede into the distance and creates lovely depth and atmosphere. I've allowed my painting to dry. Make sure it's dry, because when you rub off the pencil line around the sun, it could smudge your painting or it could tear your paper, so it must be absolutely dry. Now I haven't got a perfect circle there, so I'm going to actually use my stencil brush, but if you don't have a stencil brush, you could use a hoghair brush or an old acrylic brush. Even an old watercolour brush, don't use your best brushes, to lift off around the edge of the sun and use a paper towel to get rid of any excess liquid, and it creates that lovely glow around the sun. I'm using my size 6 brush now with a mixture of ultramarine with a tiny touch of red in there to create sort of a muddy sort of violet almost. Don't like using the word muddy, but you know, sort of a neutral sort of cool colour for these buildings now in the distance. It'll create some depth there as well. The background buildings that are fuzzy are obviously all dry, and I'm just sort of creating sort of the tops of the buildings, and I'm working now. I've worked all the way along there, and I'm using this colour quite watered down to paint the right hand side. I've deliberately skipped out the benches. I wanted to keep this really nice and simple, and I'm just painting some marks now on the pavement here, wet on dry, using my size 6 brush with a mixture of the ultramarine and the Winsor red. This is a really fun technique. I've mixed up ultramarine and a touch of yellow with a tiny touch of red. It's quite a neutral sludgy green colour, and I'm painting side brush, dry brush with my size 6 brush to create texture for the foliage of the trees. Literally, I'm painting sideways. It makes it so much easier to paint trees. The painting has dried now, and I've mixed up the ultramarine with the red with a tiny touch of yellow, so it's a really lovely dark colour. I'm using my size 4 brush, and I'm just painting these trees wet on dry, and they really come forward away from the distance to create depth in your painting. As you saw there, I'm just softening the bottom of the trees to make them look like they're growing out of the ground and not sort of balancing on the pavement. And I'm also painting a little cast shadow going from to the right. So I'm just going to continue painting these trees, taking my time. And the smaller ones that look like they're in the distance, I'm going to paint them a little paler as well. I'm spattering the trees now just to give a little bit more texture on the foliage. I'm using my size 4 brush just with the same mixture that I painted the trees with. I've allowed my painting to dry again, and I've mixed up ultramarine with a tiny touch of pink, a tiny touch of yellow to create this beautiful grey colour, working wet on dry with my size 6 brush. And I'm diluting now as the bridge wall goes away into the distance there to soften and to create depth. I'm also painting some markings on the pavement wet on dry using that wash just to create a little bit of interest as well, quite abstract really in a way, by the trees here. So your eyes are kind of like out of focus, but there's those marks and shapes look like something, and I'm just painting the top of the bridge wall there as well, and some markings in the road. As you saw there, I just built up the detail there, the markings, using that colour, just slightly creamier to make it darker. And now I'm painting these little people in the distance. I'll put a link in the description below on how I paint people and the sort of easy steps and little practice that you can do, and it really is helpful. And I'm painting a little bit of cast shadow there as well, and softening, painting a bit of cast shadow on the lamp posts as well there, and I'm painting these people to the left, which I've kind of invented using the same techniques as I do painting people, small heads, arch window for the bodies, and just two sticks, 2 lines for the legs, one shorter than the other, so it looks like they're walking, and they're quite silhouetted here. And I'm painting a little bit of cast shadow just to ground them. I'm using a constable trick here to paint red in the painting to draw your eye in. So I've given this person here a red scarf, and I'm just giving this person an elbow to make him look a little bit more human. I am spattering the foreground wet on dry, and some little spatters escaped, so I thought I'd paint some birds just to add a little bit of life to the painting, and there it is. It really creates depth and movement as well, so I'm really quite pleased with that. Now, to create the atmospheric effect, I'm using the stencil brush again. The painting is dry and I'm just sort of rubbing the paint. Watercolour's not permanent, so you can remove it. I don't want to remove it all. I'm just softening and then lifting off with my paper towel so it looks like it's misty, and it sort of pushes things away as well and creates atmosphere. So I'm just touching things very lightly, scrubbing very lightly, just to lose sort of the edginess and the crisp edges here and there. I'm doing the same on the trees and just dabbing with my paper towel, and it really does create atmosphere. As I say, if you don't have a stencil brush, you could use an old watercolour brush or even a cotton bud. As you can see there, I've used some white gouache as well to finish off my painting, especially if you've lost the light anywhere. It's really useful. So I put it on the edge of the people, a little bit on the pavement and on the top of the bridge. And if you don't have white gouache, you could use white watercolour paint. Here is the finished painting. It looks very atmospheric. I'm really pleased with it. I love the birds, and that was a happy accident. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get updates of my latest tutorials. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And if you'd like to see the longer tutorial, remember, check out my Patreon membership or my new website. Details about that, as I say, are in the description below. Thank you again for watching. Happy painting. Bye for now.